Years ago, I thought leadership was about being in charge. I thought it was about authority, confidence, and getting people to follow you. I was wrong. The biggest leadership challenge I ever faced wasn't leading a team, running a business, or becoming a father. It was learning how to lead myself. And until I figured that out, every other area of my life suffered. Just like me, most men don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because nobody ever taught them how to lead. They drift through life reacting to problems, repeating the same mistakes, and wondering why they're stuck. And the scary part, many of them don't even realize it's happening. So today I'm going to share the 5 leadership principles that changed everything for me. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Purpose or Pleasure podcast. It's your host, Alex Payne, and today I'm going to tell you a quick story first. Back in college, I had a girlfriend. We dated for a few years. In the beginning, things were great, but as the time went on, we began to argue and fight, and we went down the slippery slope towards the breakup. You see, breakups are normal. They happen to everyone. A breakup is not the end of the world, but I, being the immature person at the time, did not want to break up with her, despite countless red flags. I thought I could fix it if I tried again and again. So I let it drag on for months. We would argue and break up, then make up and try it again. But every time, the fights were getting worse and worse. Finally, one day during another argument, she hit me with, "I wish you had the balls to just break up with me." At first I was confused, like, why would she want me to break up with her? Then it hit me. As a man, I need to be a leader and I need to have the balls to call it quits. She did not want to have uncomfortable conversations, but she wanted me to do it. But because I didn't have the courage to make a decision and have an uncomfortable conversation, she resented me for it. After that last fight, I finally made up my mind and broke up with her. She was very upset, go figure, but it had to be done. Yes, it hurt just like every breakup, but it gave me the confidence to make hard decisions in life, and it taught me very valuable lessons about leadership. You see, most men hear the word leadership and they immediately think about business owners, CEOs, politicians, military generals, or people standing on stages. But leadership has very little to do with titles. You can have a title and still be a terrible leader. You can own a business and be a terrible leader. You can be a husband, a father, a manager, a coach, or a pastor and still be a terrible leader. Leadership starts much closer to home. It starts with the man you see in the mirror every morning. Today I want to share the 5 leadership skills that I believe have the biggest impact on a man's success in life, relationship, career, business, and personal growth. If you can master these 5 skills, you'll separate yourself from most men, because most men never intentionally develop them. Let's dive in, but before we do, please click like under this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I appreciate you guys' help because it helps my channel grow and it shows what topics most of you, my viewers, are interested in learning about. Number 1, if you take nothing else from today's episode, remember this: a man who cannot lead himself cannot lead anybody else. Everything begins here. Before you can lead a family, lead a team, lead a company, or lead a movement, you need to first learn how to lead yourself. The truth is that most men aren't struggling because they lack information. They're struggling because they lack self-control. They know they should work out. They know they should stop drinking. They know they should wake up early in the morning every day. They know they should have difficult conversations. And they know that needs to be done. The problem isn't the knowledge. The problem is execution. Self-leadership means doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Because feelings are temporary, but purpose is permanent. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want right now. And that's what separates boys from men. A boy follows his emotions, a man follows his values. So ask yourself, can I trust myself? Can I trust myself to keep my word? Can I trust myself to finish what I start? Can I trust myself when nobody's watching? Because if you can't trust yourself, why should anyone else trust you? Self-leadership is the foundation of everything. Trusting yourself means having confidence in yourself. And a man who's confident in himself has different energy about him. He walks, talks, and acts differently, and it's noticeable. So you must begin by leading yourself. Be disciplined and be consistent. Keep your word to yourself and to others. Show up when you said you would show up, regardless of how you feel that day. Number 2 is communication. See, the second leadership skill is communication. It's very important. I've met highly intelligent men who couldn't communicate effectively. And because of that, they struggled in business, relationships, and life. Communication is not just talking, it's the ability to transfer understanding. Many men avoid difficult conversations because they fear conflict. But avoiding conflict doesn't solve problems. It actually creates bigger problems. Strong leaders communicate clearly and effectively. They communicate expectations, they communicate boundaries, they communicate honestly. They don't leave people guessing. One of the biggest mistakes men make is expecting other people to read their minds. Like, your wife can't read your mind, your employees can't read your mind, your business partners definitely can't read your mind, your children can't read your mind. You have to learn how to communicate. And equally important, you have to learn how to listen. Most people listen to respond. Leaders listen to understand. When you become a better communicator, every area of your life improves. Relationships improve, business improves, trust improves, respect improves. So ask yourself, do people clearly understand what I mean when I speak? Or am I constantly misunderstood? Start having uncomfortable but necessary conversations. Do not let people guess what's on your mind and your heart. People are not psychics. Good and effective leaders have good communication skills and are good listeners at all times. Number 3 is decision making. That's a third leadership skill. Many men stay stuck because they're waiting for certainty. They're waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, the perfect plan. The problem is that certainty rarely exists. Leaders require action despite uncertainty, right? Every successful man I've ever met has made mistakes. I made mistakes. The difference is that the successful man didn't let bad decisions to prevent them from moving forward. Indecision creates stagnation. A wrong decision often teaches you something. No decision teaches you nothing. Some men spend years researching, years of planning, years of preparing and talking, but do very little. Leadership requires courage. The courage to choose a direction, the courage to take responsibility, the courage to fail and learn, because action creates clarity. You don't think your way into confidence, you act your way into confidence. Ask yourself, am I spending more time thinking or acting? Because the answer to that question may explain exactly why you're stuck. Great martial artist and philosopher Bruce Lee once said, "Willing is not enough, we must do. Knowing is not enough, we must apply." Nothing in life will change for you, and you will not develop crucial leadership skills if you don't take action. Success in life requires you to take action without being afraid. Hey guys, quick interruption because I have an important announcement to make. If you're a man between 20 and 45 who is out of shape, feels lost, stuck, undisciplined, or feels like you living beneath your potential, I created a U 2.0 mentorship program for you. I know what it feels like to carry the pain, lack direction, struggle with discipline, and try to figure out life without healthy, masculine guidance. I also know this truth. When a man is broken, everybody around him feels it. His relationship, his family, his future, and his purpose. Everything suffers. My U 2.0 is a coaching program for men who are tired of drifting and ready to rebuild themselves from the inside out. Inside the program, we focus on 7 pillars: purpose, healing, discipline, masculine identity, family, brotherhood, and faith. This is not a fake macho content. This is not empty motivation. This is a real process for men who are ready to heal, break destructive habits, build self-respect, gain clarity, and become the kind of men they can actually respect. So if you're tired of wasting your time, tired of feeling stuck, and ready to become the man you know you're meant to be, click the link in the description to check out the program, or go to my website and enter your email so I can send you my free guide on how to find purpose and level up in life. Now back to the episode. Number 4. The fourth leadership skill is vision and purpose. Because a man without vision drifts. A man without purpose reacts to life. A man without direction becomes vulnerable to distractions. One of the greatest strategies I see amongst men is not failure, it's wandering. Working jobs they hate, living lives they don't enjoy, chasing goals they never chose for themselves, simply existing instead of intentionally living. Vision gives a man direction, purpose gives a man fuel. When a man knows where he is going, decisions become easier. Distractions lose their power. Temptations become easier to resist because purpose creates focus. People naturally trust leaders who know where they're going. Not because they know it all and they have all the answers, but because they have direction. You don't need your entire life figured out. You just need a target. You need something meaningful to pursue. So I want you to ask yourself, can I clearly explain where I'm going and where I want in my life? If not, maybe it's time you create a vision for yourself. Because if you don't create your future intentionally, life will create it for you accidentally. And believe me, you do not want life to create your future for you accidentally. This is how most people end up dying with regret because they never pursued their vision and their purpose in life. If you want to know how to create purpose in life, watch many of my previous podcast episodes where I talk about finding or creating purpose and meaning in life. Number 5 is called influence through service. That is the 5th leadership skill that you need to master. This is where most people get leadership wrong. They think leadership is power, control, authority. It's not. The greatest leaders are servants. The greatest leaders elevate others. The greatest leaders solve problems. They make people around them better. They make more leaders. Leadership isn't about being the most important person in the room. Leadership is about helping others become better because you entered the room. People don't follow titles. People follow trust, integrity, and consistency. People follow example. You don't build influence by demanding respect. You build influence by earning respect. And respect is earned through service. So ask yourself, are people better because I'm in their lives? Not because I say they should be, but because my actions make them better. That's leadership. A true leader is a servant to other people. He demonstrates leadership through his actions. He's calm and collected in chaos. And people recognize a leader when he walks into the room. Serve others first and you will see how your leadership skills get sharpened. So let's put all the 5 of these skills together. The 5 pillars of a good leader are self-leadership, communication, decision-making, vision, and influence through service. Notice the order. Self-leadership comes first because everything else is built on that foundation. If you can't lead yourself, communication won't matter. If you can't lead yourself, vision won't matter. If you can't lead yourself, influence won't last. Leadership is not something you do. Leadership is someone you become. It is built daily in the small decisions, the private moments, the difficult conversations, the sacrifices nobody sees, the promise you keep, the discipline you maintain, the example you set. And here's what I want you to remember. At the end of your life, leadership won't be measured by your job title. It won't be measured by your bank account. It won't be measured by how many followers you had on social media. It will be measured by how many lives are better because you showed up. That's leadership. That's impact. And that's the kind of man worth becoming in life. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode. Now, before you go, I want you to ask yourself one final question. Which one of these 5 leadership skills do I need to work on most? Start here, because one decision today can completely change the man you become tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Click like if you found value in this episode, and share this episode with a friend. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next episode.